What feast of love is offered here? What banquet come from heaven? What food of everlasting life? What gracious gift is given? This is Christ the King, the bread come down from heaven. Oh, taste and see and sing how sweet the manna given. One light of truth is offered here. What covenant from heaven? What hope of everlasting life? What wondrous word is given? This is Christ the King, the Son, come down from heaven. Oh, taste and hear and sing, the word of God is given. What wine of love is offered here? What crimson drink from heaven? What stream of everlasting life? What precious blood is given? This is Christ the King, the sweetest wine of heaven. Oh, taste and see and sing, the Son of God is given.
Well, good evening, church. It's a pleasure to be with you this Wednesday night. And as we continued last week, and we're going to continue this week, we're going to talk with folks that are involved in the congregation in different ways, have them here conversing, and we hope that you can join in on this conversation about Christmas, because that's a season that we are in. And I hope you've enjoyed the conversations the last couple of weeks. But this week we have someone very special, Karen Dunn. Welcome. Karen is at the moment serving on the worship design team, and we meet maybe, I don't know, monthly. We try. I mean, it's turning into monthly. I was hoping it would be quarterly. But we talk a lot about worship. And Karen, I understand that you are a musician yourself.
Yes, that's been my entire life.
But would you like to share with us a little bit about who you are and maybe how you came to Buda?
Well, my husband and I raised our family in Wisconsin, and 4.5 years ago, our daughter and her husband became pregnant with their first child, and all three of our adult children lived far away from where we were living. So it's like, well, I haven't been by my family as we raised our family. My husband wasn't by his family. We're like, we're going to be by family. So,
Yeah.
So we got rid of half of what we owned, probably more, and moved into an apartment in Buda to be near our kids and to be ready for the baby coming.
Was it a culture shock? In Wisconsin,
yeah, well, yes, weather-wise, it was. I didn't think I'd adjust because I'm used to snow and I liked it, and I didn't think I could live without the kind of 4 seasons that we had. But I love it here.
We have 2.
Yeah. No, it's wonderful here. I'm actually more active, and of course, being with family. Our kids live in our neighborhood now, so we're all excited. We're so excited to be here. So we've been here just over 4 years, and
Okay.
it's our
So
happy place to be.
basically right before the pandemic.
The year before the pandemic was,
So
yes.
were you always Methodist?
No, I was raised Catholic, attended Catholic school for 1 year, yeah, was a musician as a young adult in the Catholic Church. Went to a Lutheran college.
Okay.
Joined the Lutheran Church because that's who I was doing music for at that time after college.
I'm laughing because our stories, raised Catholic, went to a Lutheran college.
Yes, yeah.
And then was hired by Methodism because that's...
Right, and then through my music, I was in a small community, so being at the Lutheran Church, the Methodist Church across the street needed someone to do music too. So I would go from one service to the next, and at one point we were in the Presbyterian Church, but music's kind of taken our family wherever
you could find.
Yes, but yeah, Christian is Christian, God is God, and there's so many similarities. And but the Methodist Church, when we were moving to Texas, I scouted out the area, and I was pretty sure that the Methodist Church was where I wanted to land.
Okay.
So the first time I came here, I fell in love with the people instantaneously.
Yeah.
The family of people here is just amazing.
For you personally, what does Christmas mean to you? What does the season of Advent mean to you leading up to Christmas? However you want to respond in that, but what comes to mind for you? Is there a memory or an experience that has formed you?
Well, the church has formed a lot of what Christmas means to me. I, of course, was raised with all of the social aspects of Christmas, but I didn't like the obsession with gifts. So my husband and I, when we raised our 3 kids, decided that we would change how we were going to embrace Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas Eve was always the time that we went to church as a family. And then on Christmas Day, what we did was had books and stories. Someone would read the Bible story, one of the Bible stories of the birth of Jesus. Then each of the family members, different times during the day, we would each choose something to read and share, listen. We had fun little foods that we had throughout the day. But Christmas was family. It was just the 5 of us. It was sharing, different representations of Christmas. And we didn't have any gift exchanges on Christmas Day. That was normal for the kids. They would when they were growing up, it never didn't bother them. But what we did do, though, was the 12 days after Christmas were the giving days. And the giving was not the same as how we grew up. We had the kids, all of us made some small object for each person in the family.
Yeah.
And when the kids were little, obviously. Homemade things, all homemade things. And then we had designed a little gift grid as who's giving which days so that we could, have it work out in some kind of equitable fashion. On the last day, the 12th day of Christmas, which always lined up with Epiphany, the Feast of the Kings, that would be the day that we would give them something special, like winter hats, scarves, things that they needed, but something special. But it was never about a Christmas list like it was when we grew up. My husband and I, we made Christmas lists, we'd have catalogs, we did all that, stuff. And we wanted the focus to be on, first God and the birth of Jesus, and then the family time, and then just the giving to one another and trying to do it from a heartfelt place, not from a, let's see what I can dream up, as something that I have to have. We wanted it to be focused on the love that we shared with each other, but also so that the kids knew that, life gives you pretty much everything you needed. So when we gave them something they needed, but it was special, like a hat or something, it was, they were always happy about that.
So that's my question. You have how many children?
3.
3. And did you ever receive pushback, tension about the way that y'all did it? I mean, when they went to school, they never had like, so and so told us that.
No, because we never had other social aspects of Christmas either. So they were the kids. They embraced that the whole time. As adults, they do things their own way and their own families and things. But as our family, that was always something that's what we did. Making stuff was actually, as they got older, it was more fun because they tried to dream up things that they could create for one another.
And
our eldest
their skills improved probably.
Yeah, well, our eldest is an artist, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Was it kind of based on y'all's understanding of what you felt Christmas should be about, and if so, what informed that? I mean, obviously there's the Christmas story in the Bible, but is there something specific, a particular line or a particular vein of thought that you extracted from the Bible?
Well, for me, Christmas was always the beauty of the church service. That for me was really a strong experience. My husband was raised Lutheran, and he had fond memories of it. Then also part of the decision was obviously the fondness of that the beauty of the Christmas was about Jesus and the story, and but there was also our feelings of not being content with how our world embraces Christmas. I mean, we don't have a problem with people wanting to give gifts to each other that are purchased or whatever. We don't have a problem with the different choices that people make, but it's the obsession that our society sometimes has with that process that made us think, well, how can we honor, the beauty of honoring Christ's birth, have a Christmas celebration that's meaningful, that doesn't necessarily tie into getting caught up in all of that. How can we make a unique experience for our family that has meaning, that's connected to something that's loving and family-oriented?
Yeah, I'm just curious, but is there a way, or do you remember sentences or words of how you explained it to your kids? Like, this is what we do, and this is how we do it. That made it easy for them to kind of gravitate toward this way of being when they were younger. I mean, obviously I don't know if they do it with their family a different way, but in terms of y'all's moments together.
Because they were little when we first started doing it, they weren't making things at that point. We were just giving them little things like a toothbrush and their own tube of toothpaste, or a little tube, little things like that. That's how we started.
Yeah.
And then, as our eldest, because she was 5 years older than the other two, she was able to make things, and she loved making things. It was
that's
easy.
The artist.
Yes, that's the artist. That was easy to do that. As far as other kids having things, we talked about that Christmas is done differently everywhere you go. We had books on different traditions from around the world, different ways they celebrated, and that was part of their learning and experiencing and reading. They all love to read.
So it was part of their stories to
Right.
learn about other.
Oh yes,
Wow.
yes.
Okay.
We did volunteer work at Thanksgiving as a family, so they already knew that our holidays weren't necessarily like everybody else's holidays. They would ask questions, we would talk about things, but there was actually never a time that they expressed we wanted to be different. Because had they done that, then we would have had a family discussion, because family meetings were something that we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of, happenstance, that because we started them young, that was their norm, and so it worked.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
What do you feel like the church can offer the world during this season that maybe we have lost touch with?
Well, I know that this church offers a sense of family. this church is a very caring family, reaching out to one another in times of need, sponsoring projects to help kids that don't experience a Christmas or don't have a family that can do something, getting together. But the church is a family. That, no matter what denomination it is, there's church families everywhere, and the fact that they are all doing outreach things that help people, but they're also examples of God's love. They're doing things to reach out into their communities, and I just think it's always a good thing to do is to connect to a community, whether it's your church community. The church community is reaching out into the other community, the community that they live in, and it's just a reminder. I mean, Christmas is about love. Jesus is love. God is love, and that representation of love is present in so many shapes and forms. We just have to look, and it's there, and look for an opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to try getting involved this way this year, or I'm going to try this way, no matter what your family tradition is.
Yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I first want to thank you for sitting down with us. Want to thank you all for joining us this evening. If you'd like to hear more from Karen, she's at church on Sundays, most Sundays.
Yes.
You can talk to her.
Except when I'm traveling to see the other grandbabies.
Feel free to get in touch with me at pastormatt@budaumc.org, and I'll definitely put you in contact with Karen some more. If you have questions for me, I'll obviously respond to you as well. But Karen, would you mind praying us out?
Not at all. Dear Father, we thank you for this wonderful place to live on this spinning globe, with all these different people, all these people to love and to know, and that all these opportunities to grow and to love each other, and to support each other through the love that you've given us. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And thank you all. We'll see most of you on Sunday, if not the next week on Wednesday at 6:30. Talk to y'all soon.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you. Go now and where